Well, good evening, y'all. It's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Sunday night again. Funny how time flies like that. It's should be 8 o'clock Eastern time if I have done my math correctly. And so we will go ahead and get started. It looks like I've got enough internet today, so that's a good thing. Hey, Linda, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. All right, so this is the card that I gave you a sneak peek of this morning. Uses a couple of different elements. The primary sentiment comes from the wonderfully beautiful Carols of Christmas stamp set, which is in the holiday catalog. I've also borrowed some ornaments from the Hostess set called Seasons of Whimsy, so you have to host a workshop or place an order over $150 so that you can get Stampin' Rewards and purchase this stamp set with the Stampin' Rewards. And I also borrowed a little bit from Christmas Happiness, because why wouldn't I? So, again, this is the card. I'm going to do a quick refresh here and see what we got going. Hang on just a second, y'all. Oh, there we go. Now some comments are coming in. Hey, Ann and Pamela and Karen, I appreciate y'all joining me tonight. I hope you have seen the card that we're going to make. I think actually Christy Gray, she did a card the other day for our blog hop where she had stamped on the paper from the Merry Music Specialty DSP, and I liked it so much I wanted to try it myself. So this is our card. Here's the inside. Lots of embossing on this one. And then we have the matching envelope. And I just thought I was so clever. I made sure to get Deck the Halls on the envelope flap. Oh yeah, I did. All right, so let me put this where I can see it and be sure that I do my card correctly, but out of the way on my tiny little workspace. Hi, Twyla and Jean and Carol. Hey, you found me, Carol. Yay. Hi, Denise. Hi, Patricia. Just so you know, if I don't happen to call you out, it's because my computer is over on the left side here and I can't see it very well. So, and the comments scroll on down as you guys make them, so I may miss you, but I'm not blowing you off. I promise. I'm just missing you. Give me another shot. Hey, Jean. Thank you so much. All right, so let us go ahead and get going. I have a piece of the Merry Music Specialty paper. That'll be for our card front. Then I have a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of Night of Navy cardstock that I have scored and folded at 5 1/2. And I have a couple of little embellishments I'll show you in just a second. So this is the card front and an inner liner. These are 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This will be for the envelope flap. And then I've got 2 pieces of gold foil that I'm using as my mat. Now, if you make this card, you could certainly use a silver mat. I just liked how the gold, looked against the navy and how it matched the embossing of the sentiment. So that is the direction that I went. But you could do whichever made you happy. Hey, Paula. Thank you for joining, and Mary, I appreciate you guys coming on. All right, so we're going to set this aside, and we'll start with our card front. All right, so the card front, we are going to begin by, I'll use my silicone mat, and I'm going to pull out the, oh, hey, Paula, thank you for joining with your friend Nancy. I'm going to pull out the pine bough image from Christmas Happiness. Run out of space here, people. Just flat. Run out of space. All right. And we're going to print that in garden green ink. And I'm going to stamp it twice on the top of the card front. Hi, Karen. Hey, y'all. Give Karen some congratulations. She is one of my good downlines, and she just promoted to Bronze Elite today. So, woohoo! Yay, Karen! Way to go, girl! All right, so we're going to ink this up. And this is garden green ink, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it across the front of my cardstock here. All right. right, and then we're going to do it again, kind of down the side. Like so. And just hold for a beat to get a solid impression. And then I'm going to wipe my silicone mat. Okay, now when I first made this card, I stopped there, and yes, Karen, it's true. It's not even fake. I stopped there, and then I thought, you know, one of my favoriteest parts of a Christmas tree is the lights. And it turns out that Christmas Happiness has little lights, and so since it's my card, I'm going to put them on there. And I'm using Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm just kind of stamping them in and amongst the boughs. Now, to be quite honest, they get covered up a little bit, but you can still see them, and I know they're there. So there you have it. All right, I'll do one more. I do like Christmas lights, there's no doubt about it. All right, so when I got ready to color my lights, I used a couple of my new Stampin' Blends. Y'all, these are the new alcohol markers that we've got coming out, and I think you're gonna like them. Now, here's the rub. Stampin' Up! Hasn't told us when these are coming. So you're going to get to see a few examples that I'm going to use ahead of time. This one today isn't a whole lot of blending, it's just coloring. But if you are interested in getting these, you could get in on this demonstrator's pre-order, which goes for a few more days, and you can use these to fill your starter kit. So if you're interested and you want alcohol blending pens right now, get them while they're hot. So each color that the blends come in has two of each color. So one is light and one is dark. This is the dark one. Here, I'll show you the brochure. Sorry. There we go. There's all the colors that it comes in. And there's a light and dark of each of the shades so that you can blend and make pretty things. Hey, Sue. I know, Jean, right? What a tease, what a tease. So I'm using the dark cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to use that to color in my lights. I'm telling you what, folks, if you like to color, these little alcohol pens are the way to go. They're fun. Even I, a really not good artist, and I'm not really doing any blending here. I'm simply coloring. But I did do some blending over the weekend with these after they came in, because, you know, they came on Friday, so why wouldn't I play with them? They do work very nicely. I like it quite a bit. And there's a set that comes that you can get with them that is the Color Me Happy project kit. Here's the Color Me Happy stamp set that you can purchase. And then the Color Me Happy project kit where you can make all of these beautiful cards. Aren't those pretty? Aren't those so pretty? Yes, indeedy doodle. And it also has a bronze and an ivory and a color lifter marker. So, kind of fun, folks. Here it comes. Hey! All right, now I'm using the dark Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to color in those lights. And something just occurred to me, so I'm going to try something. Bear with me here. I'm going to reach behind my computer. No, I'm not, because I don't see it. Hang on just a second, y'all. Wait one. Here we go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little different from my original card. I'm going to take the light. I'm going to take the light Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to give a little bit of a glow all the way around all those. So here's one thing about the Stampin' Blend, the alcohol markers, and this is true of any of them. You want to use the Tuxedo Black ink. The Memento ink is what doesn't run So if you're using other ink like I am here, you have to be a little bit careful. Okay, so now we have our pine boughs all done there. Hey, Sharon, the New Mexican in Arkansas. How are you? Hey, Kathy. This Mary, and she's making a Christmas card using a stamp set. Patricia, I guess you must be speaking with someone who... Oh, I see. You're talking with Kathy. Well, hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining with Patricia. I appreciate that. All right, so those are kind of dry now. And now I'm going to make my sentiment on here, and it's an embossed sentiment. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy to give that a little rub. But first I'm going to make my Stamp-A-Majig, and I'm going to use, not that I'm going to use any green for my sentiment, but I am going to use green ink to set up my Stamp-A-Majig because it is really hard for me, Read Impossible, to see Versamark on the Stamp-A-Majig. So I have to use a different ink and then clean my ink stamp. Oh, and your sisters. Ah. Well, hello, sisters, Patricia and Kathy. All right, and then we're going to clean off our stamp. All right, and put away the garden green ink, or sure as shooting, that'll be what I use, and I don't want to do that. All right, now we're going to line up our sentiment right like this. Well, y'all, I finally made I made a foray to town today. It's 45 miles to Tooele, and it took me an hour and change because I don't drive like a speed demon. And I saw, in the course of 12 miles, I saw some pronghorns, I saw a wild horse, and he was not with anybody, so he was looking for somebody. I think I saw bighorn sheep. That's what I think I saw coming around a corner. They were galloping across the road in front of me. And then I also saw deer, which I think might have been mule deer, but I'm not really sure what kind of deer they were. But they were deer. So there were a lot of animules out there today. Oh, well, good for you, Patricia. That is a very good gift. So, Kathy, are you stamping? Oh, yes, someone needs a new Versamark pad. You are correct. But it does the business for me now. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to stamp this on in Versamark. Hold a beat so that it gets a good, solid, a good, solid image. Reach behind me. I am still working on getting quite acclimated to both the altitude and my tiny stamping area, but that's okay, I'm getting there. All right, now we're going to, oh, don't do it in silver. That's not right. That ain't right. That is just not right. All right, pull out the gold Stampin' Emboss powder and give it a good sprinkle there. Okay, tap, 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 tap. And a good blow. So do you know what happens if you blow over your container of Stampin' Emboss powder and your Versamark pad happens to be open? I know, it is cold here today and the wind is getting it. So yeah, I've been chilly. Okay, now we've got a good image, so we'll go ahead and heat it up. I love some embossing. Okay, so there's that. Good for you, Kathy. I'm glad you got some stamping in. It's fun to do that. Okay. All right. All right, now I'm going to brush all this off and find where I just put all of my stuff. And let's go ahead and get this matted up. I'm going to use some fast fuse right after I make it stop being so persnickety. Alright, you can see that the Blendies comes through the paper a little bit, especially with this thin paper. The Merry Music paper is quite thin. Alright, so now on to my mat of gold foil. See if we can get it lined up kind of evenly. And give it a little rub there. Yes, ma'am, those are the Stampin' Blend markers. I ordered mine as soon as I could, and I actually splurged. I did not splurge for 2-day shipping, so it took them a while to ship it, but it turns out that when you are living a mere 70 miles from Utah, it gets, or from Salt Lake City, where the company headquarters is, you get it pretty quickly. All right, so there's our card front. Now, I already cut out, using my Pretty Pines Thinlits, I cut out a couple of Lemon Lime Twist bows, and I really struggled with the colors on this, but this was what turned out to be what I liked the very best, and so that's what it is. All right. Yes, Kathy, I think you're going to end up being hooked. Most of us get that way pretty quickly. So I'm just using a little bit of the Tombow liquid glue and adding these over the top just to give a little fullness and a little dimension. You know, once you start die cutting and punching, and just plain stamping doesn't hardly do it anymore. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. All right, now I'm going to set this aside for a half a second, and I'm going to color me some ornaments. And once again, I'm going to go to my Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to pull out, I've got the light and dark Pool Party, and I have the light and dark Night of Navy. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to color, not that one, but these two. I'm going to color the whole. So here's the thing, and I'm going to open the wrong one every single time, but just like on the Stampin' Right markers, they give us the thin line for the fine tip pen side, and they give us a thick line for the brush side. But I open it up the wrong way every time. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by flooding each of the ornaments with the light Pool Party. And obviously you can color these however floats your boat. But I thought, why not show you the blender pens? They're not blender pens, they're Stampin' Blends, Stampin' Blends. So I'm doing that on these two ornaments. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to make them look a little more dimensional by adding some shading. These look like those, I'm going to say it wrong, but you're going to know what I mean. You know those kind of painted ornaments? It's cloisonné or something along those lines. I'm obviously not French, so if you know I butchered that, just cut me a break. Yes, the ornaments are from the Christmas Whimsy Marnie, this set. And all I did is, before you all came, I heat embossed them in silver on some Whisper White cardstock. And when they cooled off a little bit, I just fussy cut them real quick. And I did cut the hook off because, yeah, nobody could fussy cut that. Okay, now I've flooded both of these with the dark, or the light Pool Party. And so now I'm going to take the darker one, and I'm just going to kind of go along the edges. And I want to leave the middle of the ornament lighter. I'm going to get this like this. So you want it to look like the light is hitting the middle. And then, you know, that's going to make it look, and I'm going to come back with the lighter color here in just a second to kind of blend it in just a little bit more. So this is the dark Pool Party. I'm just going along like this. I'm pretty sure I can hear y'all going, ooh, ah. I just can't look because if I do, I'll probably screw this up. Okay. So now I'm going to take my, these blends are not refillable. So you don't have to blend. Yes, that is correct, Karen. Okay, so Aaliyah, sorry. I'm sorry. These are not refillable, Karen. The difference is that because they're alcohol, they tend to blend without such a harsh line between the colors. So you can help that by, and what I did here is I'm going back across with my light blender. Now, can you still use the blender pen? Sure, of course you could. But it's kind of cool that you get the light and the dark shade so that you've got automatic blending in. When we had the blendabilities, there were 2 colors. And I don't know about the rest of you who might have used those, but I didn't really use all 3 colors, mostly because I'm not that good of an artist. But you can see where I've left it light in the middle, right? And so that just gives it kind of an impression of having some dimension. So now I'm going to do the other one, and I'm going to start with the light navy. The other markers are water-based, I believe is correct, yes. I'm not entirely sure of that. See what I did? Not entirely sure of that, but that's what I believe, yes. So I'm using the light Night of Navy, and I'm just flooding the whole thing. And then I'm going to take the darker Night of Navy and give the edges a little bit of a go. Like that. Okay. Go back to my light. And bring it in just a little bit more. And you can see where I go over where I've already colored with the light. With the light, it darkens that up. So now I have dark, medium, and a lighter tone there. And I'm going to actually use this. When can you order? Marnie, that is the question. That is, in fact, the question. Demonstrators are ordering now, and we have a pre-order going for another few days. But we don't know exactly when Stampin' Up! Is going to release them to customers. So if you're desperate to have these, if you've ever thought about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, now is a really good time. So now all I'm doing is I'm just kind of outlining some of the decorative elements of this ornament with the darker marker, just to give it a little bit of a little zing. And you're going to see when I get done with the card, I'm going to come back and put some rhinestones on there. And then I think I'm going to put a little bit on my Night of Navy, on my pool party ornaments, just a little bit. Like so. I have to be quiet. If I don't be quiet, I'll screw this up. Let's see what goes. Okay. All right, we're gonna call that yummy. Okay, let's see. So, Marnie, did I answer your question? We don't know when you're going to be able to order them. That's kind of the thing. I'm sorry. As soon as you guys know, or as soon as I know, I'll certainly be letting you guys know. All right, so before I put those on, what I'm going to do now is put on some of my mini silver sequin trim. I'm going to use glue dots to do that. And here we go. So this was very scientifically done. Not. I'm first going to put a glue dot right about there. And then I'm going to take a piece. You know this has a front and a back, so be sure you got the front shown because the back looks like a darn, like, ugly. I'm just going to hang that down like so and hook it on my glue dot and then turn the corner, and I want that to come to about there. So I'll put a glue dot there. See how scientific this is? So scientific. Okay. Let it kind of hang down like that, like it's draped on a tree. And then I'm going to bring it down like that. Now, let me show you what else I'm going to do here. First, I'm going to cut this where I want it. And y'all know these little sequins dudes will come off and go all over the place, right? You know that. You figured that out because I know you've used this. Come on. Okay, put that aside. Then I'm going to take an eensy-weensy little tiny drop of my liquid glue. I'm going to find where I want it, and I'm going to help it stay all crafty looking. And it's going to help me keep these little boogers right on there. Come here now. Get up there. Get up there now. Come on. I don't know about you guys, but I have not discovered there's a whole lot of use in talking to the stuff, but I can't make myself stop. Alright, so we're going to stick that on like that, and we're going to wait a little bit just so that it gets a little bit of an adherence. I'm just going to pull that one off. That guy right there is going to be a persnickety booger the whole time, so he's off. He doesn't get to live on my card. Okay, now that's going to dry up very nicely, I'm quite certain. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to make a bow with some Night of Navy crinkled seam binding, which I love. This stuff makes such pretty bows. Yeah, but it's got to be longer than that. Thank you, Anne. All right. Now, get our bow sort of looking like a Sue Prather bow. She can make some bows now. No, I left my bow easy at home. I don't know why. You know what else I left at home, you guys? My ruler. My ruler. Oh, but look what I made. Look what I did. Wait a minute. You guys are going to be so proud. Ready? Are you ready? Look at that. I made a ruler. Recognize it? Yes. A little bit of grid paper, cut, rolled, taped, and now I have a ruler. I was so impressed with myself. All right, because I can't deal. Thank God I didn't leave my tweezers. I couldn't have made those. I'd have had to buy more of those. Okay, we're going to get this down to where it looks like some ribbon maker made it instead of like a fool made it. Come. Okay, when all else fails, start over. Here we go. This one's going to work. I know this one. This one's it. This is it right here. This is the bow that's going to work. All right. Now, that didn't work. I want a longer tail is why I keep pulling it back, you guys. Sorry. Because I need it to hang down and look beautiful and luscious and luxurious and manja and stuff. Okay. So see, this is going to go here, roughly, and that's going to go like that. And so that helps me identify where I want to put my ornaments, you see. Do you see now why I was fussing with that so much? Yeah, now you do, I know. And then this little guy is going to pop on with some dimensionals, like so. Okay, parfait. Now let's cut Mr. Ribbon. We'll cut him right about there, so I've got plenty to work with. And put this aside. Yes, Karen, it certainly does. I do rule. Thank you, Karen. Nicely done. I see what you did there. All right. So I've got a pretty good idea where I want to put my ornaments. Oh, I was gonna do one more little coloring thing before I got going. I was going to use the bronze blendy to color the top of my little things, like they're little copper tops. Little copper tops, like that. Okay, there we go. All right, now Mr. Tweezers, Mr. Glue, let's get busy. Let's get busy, Mr. Tweezers and Mr. Glue. I'm using liquid glue to adhere the two pool party ornaments, about like that. All right, there we go. Like that. And then I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind the Knight of Navy ornament. All right. And you know, I think I'll grab a little bit of this extra over here to put behind the top of this ornament. Okay. All right, there's that. And then we'll use a glue dot for our ever so sort of, not really, but kind of perfect bow. Okay. Now, let me tell you what else I did. I used another glue dot because I kind of wanted this to go where I wanted it to go and stay there. And by this, of course, I mean this ribbon. So what I did is I took another glue dot and I stuck it right there, and then just stuck it right there, and then very gently stuck my bow down, just so it would go and be purposely artful. I will put it right there like so. Like so. Okay. And the last but not least that I'm going to put on here is I'm going to put a couple of glitter enamel dots at the top of each of the two that you can see. And I'm using the Dapper Denim because, you know, that's close enough. And since this one also shows, I'll put one there. No two cards alike, folks. All right, and that is our card front that will go on our Knight of Navy card base. So, thank you. That is correct. There are no perfect bows, and although I have seen some bows that I thought were really perfect, they were simply never mine. Okay, now let me find my inner liner piece. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little more embossing because there's never too much embossing. You can see where we're headed here. All right, so I'm going to use the long skinny one and the short round one. And we'll give this a little rub with our Stampin' Emboss buddy. And then we're going to tap, 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 do some Versamark. Make sure it's right side up. And wait a beat. And then we'll do the other one. And put it down in the corner. Wait a beat. Try not to get my fingers in that one. All right, close that up. Pull out my silver. dampen emboss powder and give that a sprinkle. This is a nice little set this season of Whimsy. They're cute, and it makes a nice crisp image, so that's helpful, especially when you're embossing, and they're perfect for embossing, so why wouldn't you? All right. Get that. Yep, didn't bring my ruler, but did bring my little paintbrush. All right, pull out the tool. And heat this baby up. Got a big emboss. I'm going to set that aside to cool off for just a second, and while it's doing that, I will do the ornament on the front of my envelope, making sure I've got it where I want it. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay. And one more time. Hey, Rosalie, thank you for joining. I appreciate you joining when I know it's the morning over there, so the fact that you get up and join me, I'm very pleased by that. And do not be fretting about being late. Okay. And we'll give this a little heat up. And that can set aside. I'll go ahead and color these little dudes. All right, again, flooding the whole ornament with the light Pool Party. I'll do both of these because these were both Pool Party ornaments. Y'all, don't let me forget, I want to put some rhinestones on that card front when I get it onto the card base. Don't let me forget that, because it just won't be right now. No. All right, and then we'll take some dark Pool Party and go across the top and along just the sides. And outside the lines a little bit, because, you know, it is what it is. All right. I played with the set that you can buy for this project kit. Called Color Me Happy. I played with it the other day, and it's got some fun cards in it that it makes. All right, back over with the light again, just to get another little blend and to pull that color in, like so, and leave the open center, and then we'll do the same on the front of the envelope. Now, for those of you who had blendabilities, there were some problems with them drying out, and I do believe that Stampin' Up! Has made some efforts to fix that, to mitigate those problems. And so I like to think that they wouldn't have brought them back before they felt like they had done enough testing to see that they're going to be good. All right, And then one more time with the light. Okay, there we go. The lifter pen will remove any outside lines. That is a true statement. Actually, I can show you that. See, you can see right here, it blurred it. I had it a little bit outside and I tried the lifter pen right there and it did blur it a little bit. So that is a handy little dude, right? The lifter pen is. Okay, so my inside is done. Let's go ahead and put it on our mat. Gold foil mat. Get out the way there, Bubba. Looks like it might be getting time to change my trimmer blade. Alright, here we go. And then we'll put this into our Night of Navy card base. Y'all, if you haven't done it yet, you've got the rest of today to get double peppermint points and free shipping. So head over to my blog site. Oh, did you see what I did there? I almost put that booger in upside down. Almost. Only counts in hand grenades, horseshoes, and nuclear weapons. So, okay, my bronze blender. And there's that. And then we will pop, thank you, Karen, check mark, check mark, run, check mark. That's the trick to fast fuse, is the check mark. And you know what? Luck. There's a lot of luck that plays into it. All right, we're going to pop our card front on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to reach behind me and grab my rhinestones to put on the front. And we will be done, ladies. All right. Thank you, Karen. I like the Night of Navy and the pool party together, too. I was a little worried about using the green and the lime twist, but it turned out that that worked okay in the same way that putting these colors on a Christmas tree would work. Why wouldn't it work on a card? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, we're going to pop that on the front like so. And let me get my rhinestones and my bag of goodies. This would not be them. Where are you, rhinestones? Come here. Come here. Well, there's some rhinestones. Alright. Now, all I'm going to do is just put a few of these smallest ones. Come here. Come here. Right in the middle of those little diamond thingies on that ornament. Okay. Like so. Come here. Come here. All right, and that is that card, and we only have one more thing to do, and that is our envelope flap. Did I chill? I did chill. Other than going to Walmart this morning, I did come back and chill. I've made some cards, which I desperately needed to do to get a little ahead for the week, because I am discovering that my big get home from work at 4 in the afternoon and make a card has not worked out so far. But I'm hoping that my problem this last week has been the altitude. It's like, we're at like 4,500 feet, And when you fly into altitude, your body doesn't have any chance to adjust. If you drive to altitude, it's gradual enough that you can kind of adjust. But when you fly in, and altitude will kick your butt, just so you know. So I'm hoping that this week will be better, so that I'm not quite so exhausted when I get home in the evening. Because the exhaustion kind of saps my crafting mojo, and I don't like that. That makes me feel bad. All right, and just a quick fussy cut of this. And boom, there it is, y'all. One each card using the Carols of Christmas stamp set, Season of Whimsy stamp set, with an assist from the Christmas Happiness. And of course, the very wonderful Merry Music Specialty DSP that is in the holiday catalog. So, get your holiday catalog, get your DSPs on sale, get your double peppermint points and your free shipping. That one ends today, so don't miss out. But all the information will be on my blog tomorrow for the Stampin' Up! Sales. But you don't have time to wait for the double peppermints and free shipping. All right, yes, ma'am. Well, I can't have complex carbs, Linda. Not too many of them because, you know, diet. But I did find the Lean Cuisine lasagna, which is very good, and that's complex carbs. And I am pounding the water as hard as I can do. So I hope y'all have liked this card and have the goodies that you need to make it. I hope you'll be looking forward to seeing the Stampin' Blends come whenever that comes available. And I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me. If you have tomorrow off, enjoy it. If you don't, have a great week at work. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.